Welcome back to Kit Car Direct and MK Sportscars. In Sean's absence on his little holiday, you've got me. However, this video is going to be a test drive on the MK RX-5 VTEC. So let's get into the car. As you can see here, we have the RX-5 VTEC finished in a lovely Gulf blue colour with the carbon vinyl triple stripe pack going along it, to sort of enforce the carbon fibre effect throughout the whole car. See, as you can see, we've got the carbon fibre front wings, we've got the carbon fibre dash, everything carbon fibre. The customer which spec'd this car was like, yes, I'll have it, everything possible. So this, as you can see, obviously has the weather pack with your windscreen and your wipers and your little washer jet placed in the middle here, which makes it look like more of a road car. So moving on to the interior, after mentioning the dash, we do actually have a quick release steering wheel with the 4 wireless buttons on there as well, which is a nice touch. On there you've got indicator left and right, you've got horn and high beam. You've got your analog clocks going all the way along the dash, so obviously you've got your miles per hour and rev gauge behind where the steering wheel is situated, and on the other side you've got oil pressure, coolant temp and a fuel gauge, of course. And sitting nicely in the middle of the dash, you do actually have some switches which do obviously various things depending on what the icon says on the switch themselves. So the gearbox which this car is running, obviously you know the powertrain is the K20A2 from the Honda EP3 Type R. This has a 1.8 NB 6-speed box in it, which, if anyone has driven a NB Mazda with a 6-speed, is quite a nice box. It's nice and tactile. And another thing which you don't see a lot on these cars is the doors. So this actually does have the vinyl doors which sit where the wind deflectors would go on a car that has wind deflectors. I'll demonstrate how easy they are to put on. Literally, so you've got 2 pins that slot in on there, and then you've got a button on the inside. But as you can see, they're so easy to put on, and obviously take off is even easier because you haven't got to find the holes. So to be able to go from a car that you can sling around a track to something that you can go on a road trip with very quickly is always something very nice. So moving over to the rear end of the car, obviously you can see we've got the newest light set up on here with everything included. So you've got your reverse light, your indicator, and of course your tail light as well, all in one little unit. Obviously you can see the continuation of the triple stripe going down here. And one thing which this car actually does have is a boot box under the boot cover, which is another thing which is also nice. You've got the extra storage, and your washer bottle top up for obviously your washer jet on the windscreen is also situated in the boot box itself. That's enough of talk on standstill. Let's get into the test drive. We are sitting in a very light blue coloured K20 powered MK RX-5, which, as you can see by the people around us, gets quite a lot of attention because it is a beautiful looking car. And first thing for the test drive sort of videos, we are sitting in a car with doors.
With doors.
And we thought it was about time we showed you what this thing is like sitting in traffic for a change. Because you've seen this do pulls on country roads and fast roads a million times over. But I'm sure there'll be something in this video to show you the VTEC sounds and the VTEC...
Oh no.
But
knew that was coming.
I'm sure you can probably tell by the wind noise in the video that the doors do quite a lot for lessening the amount of wind noise within the cabin.
Oh, it's a stark difference. Do you know what? I was so against them for so long. They do cut off a little bit of the feeling.
Yeah.
But by God, the difference in the wind.
Yeah.
Feeling is you don't get like blown around as much with these, and they're really, really nice.
Yeah, with the shape of the footwell, the cabin in the RX-5, the nice thing when you don't have the doors on is sort of being able to flail your elbows out as far as humanly possible.
I mean, they're scalloped here, so
yes, you've got a nice bit of arm space to sort of get it out as far as you can, which is comfortable. Like, I've now found a really comfortable position where my elbow is not literally attached to my hip.
Though I assume if you were built any bigger than a 13-year-old girl in the shoulder, like I am.
I don't know, mate. I'm an absolute unit. I don't know what you're talking about. So a bit more info about the car that we're sitting inside. If anyone is completely new to seeing this car, as mentioned previously in the video, it has got the powertrain from a Honda Civic Type R, the EP3. I believe it's a K20A2. which Bourne HBP, which does a lot of the work for the Cup Civic cars, has sprinkled some of their fairy dust over this engine and managed to get it up to 286 brake horsepower naturally aspirated. And after I posted a reel out on the Instagram, it did send a lot of people into debate about how that much power has been pitched through an NA engine. We had some people like, oh, I build K20 engines in my spare time and I've only managed to push 235 brake horsepower out of one. I'm not going to argue with the dyno statistics.
Oh, you can't argue with YouTube statistics. Everyone on the internet is right.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It.
Yeah.
Because you don't have an opinion either.
No, the dyno was wrong, that's why.
No, the dyno's wrong.
And numbers do lie.
Numbers lie?
Yeah, yeah.
Math is wrong.
Yeah, so you've got 4 buttons on the steering wheel, you've got your high beam, your horn, and your indicators left and right. And the indicators is probably one of the main things that makes the biggest difference of ease of access, rather than having to sort of lean over to the dashboard to either flick a switch or click a button. It's quite literally exactly where your hand is positioned already. Now, as someone that does love a good Honda engine, I am sad to see that there's not many of these being built in comparison to the Mazdas nowadays. Yeah. But it's because of how accessible the Mazdas actually... Oh, there's literally one there. We've just driven past one. So you can pick them up for absolutely nothing, as they're everywhere. But with the K20 engines, they're not ridiculously expensive, but in comparison to a Mazda MX-5 NB engine, you're looking for a decent spec K20 or a decent condition K20, you're looking at about 1,500 quid. So to put it simply speaking, you're basically building a normal RX-5 140 with a different engine.
Different engine, different wiring harness.
Yeah.
As part of the VTEC package, the wheelwood brakes are included. You get an upgraded radiator and fan, but you also get the flywheel and the adapter plate for the mating of the two together, which, you know, other than, you don't need any other parts essentially other than the MX-5 and the K20. I'm ready for VTEC time. You know what that is?
The sound of that VTEC.
Do you know what that is?
I reckon it might be.
VTEC power!
It might be that. Was this the famous VTEC power car?
This is the famous VTEC power car. And it haunts me every time I drive this. God, it's a lovely car to drive. I forget this. Just how much power this car has. But it's such a lovely car to drive.
Honestly, the amount of power that you can push out naturally aspirated of the K20 engine is absolutely ridiculous. So if you want a ridiculously fast car, but you don't like turbocharging or supercharging, any form of forced induction, a K20 is the way to go, especially in something as light as this. Basically, you just need to buy this car because it is for sale at a price of...
Do you know what we should do? Want a coffee?
Yeah, why not?
Can I grab 2 small iced vanilla lattes, please?
2 small iced vanilla lattes, of course. Is there anything else for you?
Sorry, can we make them frappuccinos? Is that okay? Stop calling me zesty! Ooh, frappuccinos!
Horses.
Horse.
What is going on here?
They're horses, mate.
Are they? That one's hench. And off we trot.
That's VTEC.
It's literally a bark.
So I love the way we said we'd come down this way so people could see how quick the car is.
And then we get stuck behind a Citroen Picasso and have to sit there whilst horses cross the road.
Yeah! Oh, this car is fast. Yeah. This is such a smooth car though, I will say.
Smooth.
The amount of mapping that would have had to be done to push this power and still achieving a very, very usable road car out of it,
yeah.
with that peak figure still pushing when you put your foot down. Not on the road, because you can't use all of that power on the road legally. Allegedly. But this is really smooth, and I will say, I've got used to the doors now from sitting in it for a little while.
You keep coming, love, that's fine.
At least you can show that the brakes are good. Brakes are very good.
The brakes work. So you're halving the weight of the EP3.
Yep. And adding 80 horsepower. And it still idles like a dream, it runs like a dream.
I mean, we've been really good on fuel.
Yeah.
But it's not skipped a beat. Temperatures are really good, pressures are really good, fuel's really good. I'm comfortable, I'm a little bit toasty. I mean, I am wearing
You are wearing a jumper.
But this has been lovely.
Yeah, I mean, road car, like, to be able to take this car, just start it up, drive it, go on a road trip with it, it would be absolutely bang on. I think out of all of the cars in the workshop currently, if there was an NA NB engine Mazda, because that's
if there
not
was an RX-5
confusion at all.
Naturally aspirated RX-5,
Yeah.
that would still be my favourite.
Yeah, that would take the crown. For usability, on the road, that would take the crown. But there's not one in there currently. This is an NA car, and I would sooner take this on a long test drive, purely for peace of mind that it's not got forced induction.
The turbo car is great. All the forced induction cars are absolutely phenomenal. But you're constantly on the verge of destroying your fuel.
Yeah,
it's out the
100%.
window.
Yeah, you've got to plan fuel stations.
Yeah. Well, fuel stop to fuel stop.
Yeah.
Your temperatures skyrocket, go through the roof. I mean, in comparison to sort of like footwell temperatures, now this is not even a fraction of
not at all.
The turbo car.
Yeah, I usually get a little bit toasty in there, but I'm generally absolutely fine.
I mean, I've got thick jeans on today, my legs are okay. So I think overall, for temperature, for reliability, for fuel, for just knowing that engine's bulletproof, and you could essentially kick its head in all day long and it's never going to skip a beat.
It's a Honda, it's never going to skip a beat whatsoever. You could literally have this on the limiter constantly and it would be absolutely fine, because that's how people drive the EP3s. If anyone has ever seen an EP3 driving around, 99% of the time it's on the limiter, and you'll probably see the car 2-3 years later and the engine will be completely fine.
Yeah, you're right.
It is ridiculous how reliable they are, and it just goes to show that it is one of the perfect engines to put into a car like this, and you don't need to worry about whether it's going to start up and take you out on that road trip that you've planned 3 months in advance, because the last thing you want is to have an engine in your road trip car and then you come round to the day and you try and turn it over and it just doesn't go.
You're absolutely right.
Which is such a good thing, as why we have Mazda, Honda, and soon to have the brand new Durapower engines. So, I mean, the nicety with brand new engines is you haven't got something in the back of your mind telling you the last owner's gone and bounced off the limiter at every given opportunity.
Your mileage is going to be high or anything like that. The sprint car, when the sprint car's all polished and done and dusted, I think that's going to be an outstanding piece of kit.
It will, 100%.
But between the three naturally aspirated, the RX-5, the RX-5 VTEC, and then the Durapower car, the sprint car, I think this is the most bang for your buck in terms of ticking all the boxes. For you could chomp miles away in this.
Cruisability,
gear, even fifth gear, depending on what box you get from your donor Mazda. You could just chomp miles down.
Yeah, you could, 100%.
It's never going to skip a beat. Yeah, I love it. Big fan.
And then once you've
got a bit bored of sitting at constant speeds, this is, out of all three of them, the one which is going to run the highest power, because that is just how the K20 is. Naturally aspirated, you're going to be running, well, the figure on this is ridiculous at 286.
Oh, yeah.
The Dura Power, we're looking to consistently run at about 180 to 185 brake horsepower, and then your naturally aspirated Mazda engines anywhere close to about 140 brake horsepower.
Yeah.
So this is double the brake horsepower.
And the big thing that we've not even touched on is how this would be on track.
Yeah.
You could track day this, you could drive it to track day it, drive
Yeah.
it home. Your
It would be
temperatures
absolutely
aren't gonna
fine,
be too
yeah.
high either for it. So for the turbo car, you couldn't track day it. You could track day it, but you couldn't track day it consistently and do lap after lap
you
after
wouldn't
lap.
want to kick its head constantly doing like 20 laps in a row, because
it would
your
cook
temperatures
itself.
your temperatures will get way too high. So you'd have to do a case of like 3 to 5 laps, come in, let it cool down a little bit, get the fan on, etc. But with this, you could literally just
still be lap after lap.
yeah, this you could just send out on 20 laps around the track and you'd be absolutely fine. That being said, we've waffled on a little bit at standstill, but that is about it for this test drive video.
I think so.
To sum it up, this car's beautiful. One of you guys needs to come down to the factory and buy it so you can live what we've been speaking about through this entire test drive video.
Again, all the talk doesn't do the car justice.
No, it doesn't.
All the videos, I mean, we've done quite a few videos. There's also the project finale build on this.
Which I'll put a link up to there on the screen, I believe.
Thank you. But it doesn't tell you, it doesn't make you feel how great the car is. And I think coming down, we can take you out in the car, you can have a good look over the car, and I think, you know, if this is what your sort of vehicle you're in the market for, you're going to just want it.
I mean, if I stumble across 28995 on my on my walks, then this car is coming home with me. Although I very highly doubt I'm going to stumble across 29 grand. Right, thanks for watching this video. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, and we will catch you next time.